Let's turn our attention to BYODs, and we'll take two typical examples that you're supposed to know well enough for the CCNA wireless exam. The first one, of course, is Apple iOS. So here, I'm using Apple iOS 8, which is the one which is current for the time of the exam. There's, of course, the iOS 9, but for the exam, the stake in the ground was taken by the end of iOS 7 and beginning of iOS 8, so iOS 8 is pretty much what you're supposed to know, but we won't go too much into the detail about locally administered address, etc. It's just about Wi-Fi management on that platform. You probably have one. If you do not, this is how it looks like. That's the main interface. If you go to settings, there is the Wi-Fi option, which is for now not connected. And if I click Wi-Fi, it's going to turn into scan mode, showing me the list of all the SSIDs that are detected and broadcasting. So if I want to connect to one of them, it's as simple as clicking it. And if I have some credentials to enter, it's going to prompt for it. I'm going to choose public Wi-Fi, which is an open SSID. So there is nothing to enter here. So the tool is going to try to associate, get an IP address, and until you have everything completed, it's going to tell you that it's trying to get into the network. And you see here, it may be associated already because it's an open network, but I don't have an IP address yet. So if I click the network name, I get that page that says it's DHCP, but there is no IP address, no subnet mask yet. Let me click back Wi-Fi, so I go back to the page and give it a sec to connect. All right, I'm connected. So if I click back again, the tiny I on the right of the name, now I can see my details with the IP address, router, the subnet mask, DNS, etc. Okay, perfect. So that was the open SSID. This one is pretty easy. I can click forget this network. If I do so, I remove the profile from the phone, which is a nice way not to connect back automatically to that profile next time. Let me not do that and keep this profile for a while and go back to Wi-Fi. So let's look at the other profiles I have. One is WINET, which is, as you may remember, a pre-shared key type of network, and of course the system detects that. So as soon as I click it, it asks me to enter the password. So let me enter this password, which is pretty long. And of course, you have no easy way to see the password you're typing, so you have to carefully look at the keys you're typing so that you make sure you're typing the right password. Otherwise, it's going to fail when you join. But I think I did it right. Yep, so I'm joining the network without any problem. Okay, just same thing, right? If you click the little I, you'll see information about the IP side of the network. Now, if I wanted to connect to a network that I do not see here, as usual, it's hidden or because it's not there yet, I can go at the bottom and click Other. If I do Other, it's pretty much like on the other platforms. I will be requested to enter the SSID profile I'm looking for and also choose the security mechanism I'm expecting, which could be one of those. So again, web.pa.pav2. And when they say .pa.pav2, they mean personal, that is to say pre-shared key. They don't say it, but they expect you to understand nothing about Wi-Fi, so .pa2 is personal. If it's enterprise, it's stated, so be careful, right? .pa2 is necessarily for them personal, .pa as well, and web as well, but again, you want to use it. Okay, you can choose security mechanism, if any, and of course, if you choose one of these security mechanisms, you'll be asked to enter, a key or username and password, depending on what kind of security you're using. That's the hidden profile. Let's go back to the same page. And at the bottom, you see I have some other options. One is ask to join network. This one is interesting and kind of specific. If you do not set it, which was the case before, the phone is going to use the profiles you have, and then it's going to automatically connect to the profiles that it knows, starting from the top of the list as usual. So it's not going to ask you to connect. If you slide this to the right and say ask to join network, it is not going to connect automatically without you knowing it or even asking for it. It's going to ask you to connect. So that will give you more control over your phone connecting automatically to a Wi-Fi network. You have more power to decide if you want to join or not. Whenever a network is detected, the tool will ask you to connect to it, so you can say yes or no, depending on what network and if you want to connect or not. So that gives you more control. And that's the extent of what you need to know about Apple iOS. You see, it's pretty simple, and it's designed to be simple.